From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update. Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Hey folks, good afternoon. Hope you had a nice weekend so far. I would say the weather's going to start cooperating over the next couple of days, more so than it did last, I would say 24 to 48 hours. Of course, we had that kind of scattered precipitation activity. Clouds really starting to let up, though, across the North State. And I think as we head through tonight and then tomorrow, conditions really get a lot better if you have any outdoor plans. That much is for sure. Notice what's left of that scattered precipitation stuff really starting to move out of here as we head through tonight and into tomorrow morning. And then by tomorrow and beyond, we are all dry. Not seeing any more precipitation chances in any widespread fashion for the next, I would say, 5 or so days at least. And I think the main story here now is going to be the fact that we don't have that. The fact that those clouds are going to kind of be letting up, and the fact that those temperatures are going to be on the rise in the big picture here as we head over the next week or so. Taking a look at the big picture futurecast, you can kind of see what I'm talking about, in fact. Maybe a few patchy clouds by midweek, but not enough to make a huge meaningful difference. And we might get some cooler air back into the area by the end of the week. This is towards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So as we head through tomorrow, through Tuesday, through Wednesday, well, we're looking at pretty below average precipitation chances. Like I said, at least over the next 5 days. Much of the West Coast is highlighted for these well below average chances of rain. And of course, temperatures as a result will be well above average. That's what we've been talking about over the last couple of days here. And I especially think about Wednesday, Thursday, that kind of time frame is we're going to see those highest temperatures across the area. In fact, I think some of us will probably be in the mid 80s when all is said and done with it. So we're definitely getting back into the spring-like pattern really pretty quickly, to be honest with you here. Here's why. We got this high pressure here taking back over. It looked more like what we call an omega block, but it's actually making a little bit of a beeline out. It's kind of becoming a little more broad, right? Which actually might weaken it a little bit later into the week and towards next weekend, which might let this cooler air come back in. That's towards Friday, Saturday, Sunday of next week. So I think we have a good, 4 or 5 days of pretty nice weather. Then we get back to the cooler weather and maybe more active pattern over the next week and a half or 2 weeks. So quite a variable forecast in the extended term, but in the meantime, for what's relevant for most of us, we're doing pretty good. Here's your wave height forecast here as we head through tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. We're actually pretty steady state. We actually calm down a little bit through the early hours of tomorrow morning, but we're staying pretty much in the single digits, at least to about 60 or 70 nautical miles off the coast. We'll call it about 6 to 8 feet, most of us there. Along the coast, we're about 3 to 6 feet there, so a little bit higher, but still a little bit of an improvement compared to what we were seeing over the last 5 or so days. Here's your forecast lows for tonight. Upper 30s, lower 40s along the coast. Head a little further inland. You get right there at 40. Up towards Siskiyou and Modoc County, upper 20s, lower 30s, very typical for this time of year. Out towards Plumas County and the eastern mountains, you got those teens at Lassen Volcanic State Park there, and those 20s from Quincy to Chester. In fact, I think Quincy might just barely eke out a 32 or 33 right there above freezing, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't bet on it. Give it 1 to 2 degrees of wiggle room. You can kind of reasonably expect to be kind of right there at freezing, right? Now down through the valley, lower to mid 40s for your lows tonight and into tomorrow morning. Don't think you can see much in the way of freezing temperatures out there. Now, let's take a look at the big picture. Out towards Trinity County for tomorrow, upper 60s, near 70 in some of the warmer spots here, with 80s returning Wednesday and Thursday. That really is, like I said, the main story here as we hit over the next 5 to 7 days. Down by Humboldt County, very similar story. Wind out of the north, 10 to 15 miles an hour for tomorrow. Kind of a nuisance wind, not really that big of a deal, but it's definitely going to be there. Of course, along the coast, you'll be in the mid to upper 50s. Head a little further inland, though. Alder Point and Garberville going to be right there up in the upper 60s, near 70 there. And, of course, along the coast, probably going to stay there, maybe near 60 for your warmest days there, Wednesday and Thursday there. Elnor County, very similar story, upper 60s, or upper 50s today, rather, upper 60s a little further inland, near 80 by Wednesday and Thursday out by Orleans and Hoopa as we head the next 3 or 4 days. Siskiyou County, of course, out here towards the west and the lower elevations, up by Happy Camp, you'll be at 67 degrees for tomorrow. Then you head a little further east, especially east of Wairika, you get those mid-50s kind of sticking around. Mount Shasta City, though, kind of a good example of what we're seeing here. Notice Wednesday, Thursday, and even starting Tuesday, to be honest with you, you got those 70s, even mid to upper 70s, sticking around there with clear skies coming back. Out towards Modoc County, mid-50s today, out there, Alturas, the California Pines, Canby, and Aden. You're really kind of stuck there in the mid-50s. Very much a consistent pattern out here as you head into the higher elevations and the northern eastern portions of the state. Notice here, Alturas, though, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get those 70s returning there. So that's going to be pretty nice out there. That much is for sure. Notice, though, for most of us, we all are going to kind of start calming back down in terms of temperatures. We're going to get back down to the, I would say 60s, maybe even 50s towards the end of the week. And into next weekend, way over here. But of course, I got to stretch way past these nice temperatures here to get even near that, right? So we definitely have a lot to take advantage of over the next several days. And of course, I mentioned this in the afternoon. South portions of the valley all the way up to Lakehead, that's where you're going to see the highest temperatures. That's always the case, right? You're going to see those mid-80s probably by Wednesday and Thursday here. Of course, like I said, cooling back down towards the end of the week and into next weekend. But even still, notice what that cool down is. Sure, it's a 10 to 15 degree cool down compared to Wednesday, Thursday down here in the valley. You're still in the 70s, all the way out to Saturday and Sunday. So I think spring has really got a hold on this pattern. I think the cooler air is becoming warmer, if that makes sense, right? Of course, as we head deeper and deeper into April. Up here in the northern portion of the valley, from Lakehead down to Red Bluff, very similar story here. Notice those temperatures in the mid-80s Wednesday and Thursday, with pretty much no precipitation in sight for the foreseeable future. Thanks for joining me here for this forecast update. Of course, Mike will be with you all week for more, fresh from the Weather NorCal Command Center, and I'll see you next weekend.